Hey guys, my name is J-Dubs. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Please, before we start the video, make sure to click that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so the first settings that we have up are the text language. I'm English, so of course I'm gonna use the English one. Enemy highlight color. There's red, purple, yellow tritanopia, yellow deuteranopia, however you say that, and yellow protanopia. I started off with just a normal red. I didn't see a problem in it, and I switched to purple. Just recently I switched to yellow deuteranopia. Yellow is just brighter, it's easier to see for me. I couldn't find a difference between the protanopia and a deuteranopia, so I mean, it's all personal preference. But at the end of the day, I just couldn't find a difference between the deuteranopia and the protanopia. In my opinion, either one of the yellows is the way to go. Alright, aim sensitivity. I am a straight up 0.3 on 800 DPI. I think it's not too high, not too low. It's kind of on the low mid side of things. Nothing crazy. Scope sensitivity multiplier, I just have it on the same. Don't want to switch that up too much. Then again, it's all personal preference here. Invert mouse, nah, I don't see why anyone would do that, to be honest. The raw input buffer, which has been in for a good bit, it's still in beta, apparently. I have that on. I've just heard that it's supposed to make your mouse a little more smooth and make aiming just a little bit more of a smoother experience, so I just keep that on. It's alright for me. Map, I have rotate instead of fix, so the map rotates with me. Keep player centered, I have that off, so like whenever they move from left to right, he sways, the character sways. Minimap size and minimap zoom, I don't feel like that's too big of a deal. Just don't have it too big to where it takes up too much of the screen. Minimap vision cones, I mean, I have it on. I rarely look at the minimap, to be honest. I don't know if that's a bad thing. But here's a really important one. Show corpses. I have that off. You do not want the corpses showing in your games. So if you have that on, I would definitely recommend turning it off, because you have trouble seeing the guns. Say they have a better gun than you, or you're out of ammo and you need to pick up a new gun. It is very hard to see and pick up the gun if just a giant body is there covering the whole gun. So it's just easier if you have it off, and the corpses are unnecessary in my opinion. So just keep that off, and I think you'll be better off. All this is personal opinion again. Bullet tracers I have on just so it helps with seeing where the bullets come from. Show spectator count I have on. Doesn't really matter either, it's personal choice, but you know, if you get a little nervy, if you're new at the game and you don't want that added pressure, turn it off. Moving on to the controls, we have abilities 1, 2, and 3. I have at Q, V, and C. It usually starts off, I believe, at Q, E, and C, or something of that sort. But these are just what's comfortable for me. I use my thumb for V and C. Move forward, back, left, right. You know the standard WASD. I actually have forward on mouse wheel up, just for the heck of it. So I don't really use it that much, but you know, just in case, you know, want to try and get a extra little boost whenever you're jumping or something like that. Maybe I have nothing else to put mouse wheel up as, so I just figured I'd put it as that, because that's why I have it as on other games as well. My default movement mode is run, just because you don't really want to press a button to have to run. I would rather press a button to walk, which is very slow in this game, so it's good for peeking corners and trying to be quiet and sneaky, you know. So yeah, that's why I have the toggle walk on. That way I just press it instead of having to hold it down. Just easier for me. And then jump, I have on spacebar, and then if I just want to spam it, I do my mouse wheel down. For some reason, my pinky just doesn't work that well. But on other games, I actually do have crouch and slide and all that on left shift or left control. But for some reason on this game, it just felt right on Valorant to have it just on a mouse button. It gets a little getting used to. Then again, the majority of the stuff is personal preference, as I said earlier in this video, but I just find it easier because my thumb is already resting on that button, so all I have to do is press left click and crouch at the same time, and it's just really easy for me. Toggle crouch I have off, so you have to hold on to it instead of just having to press it. Aim down sight is hold, and sniper rifle aim is hold. I don't really recommend it being on toggle. I've never heard of someone using toggle aim unless they're just brand new to mouse and keyboard and they have a hard time keeping their finger on right click. My reload bind is just standard R, easy to reach, close to WASD. Primary and secondary weapons 1 and 2. At the beginning when I was playing mouse and keyboard, it was pretty hard for me to reach 1 and 2, but now it's become just second nature and muscle memory has done its thing, you know. Equip melee, I have it on E just because it's really close and I don't really have anything else to use E for. Spike is 4, I believe that's default, and then drop item I have is F. Not really that important. I do not have any cycle to next to previous weapons because I just feel it's easier to have that weapon as its own separate button. Inspect, it's T, not really that important. Just, I mean, if you have a cool skin and you want to look at it, you know, something not too terribly far away, it's just, you know, not in the way of your other binds. Object I have as thumb mouse button, which is like the mouse button closest to me. Use spike is 4, I believe that's default as well. Communication, I try to keep these somewhat close to, because especially if no one's talking or I'm just trying to get the team's attention, these are just very good ways to get their attention. I believe that's the only thing I really need to go over in communication, except my push to talk is in my thumb too. I don't use my thumb for much, only the 2 abilities. I shouldn't have to push to talk and use abilities at the same time, the majority of the time at least. So all this stuff I'm pretty sure is default. I haven't messed with any of it, so I'm sure in your settings it'll all just look like this, nothing changed. Okay, here is what I get a lot of questions about: my crosshair. How did I get it black? How do you make it such a small circle? It's not too big, it's not too small. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten this question on stream and from people on my team when they're spectating me. I have used advanced options on. Okay, so here is my crosshair. It is literally just a black dot. Shouts out to the random that Timmy was playing with a couple weeks ago and made me come into my settings and play with it until I found this, because I had never thought of having a black dot as a crosshair before until I saw Timmy spectate that person. So the crosshair color really doesn't matter because it's not even a crosshair, it's the outlines. So I have the opacity at 1, the thickness at 1, because see, it'll get bigger and bigger, and see, it's not even a circle, it's a square because it's the outlines. So once you get it to 1, now it looks like a circle, or maybe it actually might just turn to a circle whenever you get it that small. I'm not too sure, but for me it looks like a small circle. Center dot I have off because if you turn it on, there's going to be a little dot in the middle. I want mine to be all the same color. So since I have the center dot off, none of the center dot stuff really matters. I have both of the override stuff off. Show inner lines is on because if it was off, there would be no crosshair. Innerline opacity 0, innerline length I have 1, innerline thickness 1. I do not like it to be offset, so I have it at 0. Movement error is off. I hate movement error with everything that I have. I just do not like it, don't recommend it. Error multiplier, no, just not a fan of it at all. Firing error, no, I hate it, can't stand it. Show outer lines off, 0, none of this really matters because I have it off. Movement error and firing error, again, off. So really that is all you need. You literally only need to show inner lines, and then that's it. That is probably main thing here in this. So in ADS I have it as my primary crosshair too. I just copy it from there. So that's all you need to know. And sniper scope, for some reason I just never changed it. I just kept it as a cyan, however you pronounce it, color. And I don't really use snipers that often, so I do fine with that. Okay, on to the video section of the settings. My display mode is windowed full screen. I do not use full screen because when I play I might have to go look something up or change a song, or do something on a separate monitor. So that way all I have to do is press my Windows key on my keyboard and I can just do whatever I want on the other monitor, whichever one I want to do. My resolution is standard 1920 by 1080. I play at 144 hertz because I have a 144 hertz monitor. Max FPS always is at 144. You don't want it, or at least from my personal experience, you don't want it at like 240 or something like that, because what's the point if you only have a 144 hertz monitor? Graphics quality, the majority of it, I have it on high. I have the texture and material quality on medium. I've mainly kept all this stuff the same. Do have the experimental sharpening off just because I've heard that it's not really, doesn't help with much. So yeah, just material and texture quality medium, detail and UI quality is high. Valorant doesn't take too much on your PC. Valorant doesn't make your PC work that hard, so I think it'll be fine unless you just have an awful outdated PC you can use. And audio again is going to be personal preference. This isn't my normal volume. I just messed with it just for the video's sake. I didn't want any loud noises just in case something weird happened. So everyone's PC and system is different just about, so whatever you're comfortable with again is what is completely fine. I would recommend having your overall volume just about as close to as high as it could get because footsteps are very important in this game. Same way with sound effects, someone might be standing still, but they might be reloading their gun and you can hear where they're at. And then I would recommend having the music off just because it gets annoying after a while. And voice chat, just make sure that mic's working, everything's good. You don't want it too loud, don't want it too low. I believe we have gotten everything. So that'll be the end for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys find the settings that are right for you, because I know I've said it multiple times in this video, but it is personal preference. Whatever works for you works for you. It might not work for other people, but in the end it is always just about finding what works for you and what makes you play the best. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, hit that like button. Thank you guys for your time, and I'll see you guys in the next video.